I'm asking the jury, do you really believe that a man with this much money and who has bottles of wine in his cellar that costs more than $20,000 is asking this family for $20,000 not to show videos and pictures and not leak that information?
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life. Street stars. You know what time it is. We have to speak about things that have taken place within this trial for week 2. Before we even speak about what took place, from just an attorney standpoint, watching week 1 go, pulling Cassie out, the big guns. Week 2, we had the likes of Kid Cudi, Cassie's mother, Don Richard, Don from Danity Kane, a couple of the hotel workers, a couple of male. So they're bringing out their guns now. Did you expect week 2 to go into that form of the prosecution bringing out the likes of what they brought out?
I did. And so I think I spoke about it last week when I said that if I was prosecuting this case, you would bring out a psychologist. And so they brought out Dr. Hughes, the same one from the Johnny Depp trial. And so she talked about what I said before is you have to show and establish why the treatment of Cassie and her behavior fits into the mold of sex trafficking. And so you have to prove that coercion, the fraud, and force. And so you need those things. And so she was brought in to do that. And so this time I'm going to do a little bit something different. I'm going to talk about it from both what the prosecution did and what the defense did well. So to try to give that balance. And so doing that, Dr. Hughes talked about some important things as far as how women who are beaten and treated as Cassidy was, why they stay with their abuser and why they seem to cater to their abuser. And so a lot of your viewers spoke on that in their comments. And so this is the person that proved and talked about what they were saying from a scientific standpoint. However, there are some flaws in that. And so her testimony doesn't really go to this trial as far as the individuals. It goes as to a behavior. And so the jury has to take this information and decide if it applies or if they see that it applies. And so the defense came back and really beat up on the doctor in the sense that she didn't interview Cassie or Miss Ventura. She did not talk to Diddy. She didn't have any contact with any of the individuals involved in this case. So her analysis doesn't really go to the actual trial and go to the actual situation. And so, but it was good to educate the jury on that. And that's something that you needed to do.
Yeah, no, I'm going to jump around week 2, but I definitely want to make sure we speak on what we need to speak on. They brought out Cassie's mother.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, before we go into what she spoke on, the defense chose not to speak to the mother. Can you explain that strategy as far as allowing the mother to testify the depravities of things that happened and what she saw as a mother to her daughter, and the defense not to attack what she said?
Mothers are sacred. I mean, they are the sacred altar for any race, any group of individuals, any belief system. Mothers are sacred. And so the testimony as to her daughter being victimized, pictures of her daughter, there's not anything that really you can ask her about that situation that would help you in a defense, because she basically stated that she didn't know anything other than what she saw or what she might have been told. She didn't really say that she saw anything that happened to her daughter firsthand. And so the pictures that she took, the things that she does know and did participate in firsthand are still pretty secondary in nature. And so to ask her a question in that regard, what if you ask her a question and she just breaks down crying?
Doesn't look good.
Right? Or what if you ask her a question and she is so angry that she yells at you? How do you control that situation? And it's one of the biggest mistakes that lawyers make when you don't know the temperament of a witness. And it's a key witness who has basically an emotional connection. I've done cases in which we did depositions, and I love the fact that they asked my mother's silly questions, because as soon as they answered it in a motherly way and break out crying, game over.
Yeah, I think even in with Yella Beezy's trial, his bond hearing, his grandmother coming in to speak
killed it.
Yeah, it's like, there we go. That's the thank you, because that's what you need is, like you said, it's a universal language when it comes to a mother or any one of a maternal figure to speak on someone's behalf. Now, Cassie's mother did mention that she had to take out $20,000 to pay Diddy in order to, I guess, I forgot, again, please, y'all, I'm sorry, because I don't remember exactly.
It was extortion.
She felt it was extortion. She said she needed to get her own money, their own $20,000. I don't know if they took it from the house or whatever, but they obtained $20,000 to give Diddy to hopefully, I guess,
keep him from posting the photographs.
Correct.
And so he had videos or photographs of Miss Ventura that he wanted or he threatened to show because of her relationship with Kid Cudi, and that $20,000 was hush money. The problem that you're going to really have with that testimony, and you can knock it out the park in closing, is Mr. Combs, $20,000 that's not even his bar tab. His bar tab is more than that.
Right.
And so I'm asking the jury, do you really believe that a man with this much money and who has bottles of wine in his cellar that costs more than $20,000 is asking this family for $20,000 not to show videos and pictures and not leak that information? He would get 100 times more than that to sell it to one of the websites in order for them to have it, right? And so, no, it's going to be attacked later on, but it wasn't necessary to attack her in that regard.
And speaking of, I don't know if you know this, but there was an old interview that leaked with 50 Cent speaking on having a video of Cassie a long time ago, back when he had thisis50.com, and they were going to post it on that channel. And Diddy had, this is all from 50's statement on it, but Diddy had called and asked him, like, how'd you get that? And, questioning how'd you get that? And, 50's like, I got ways. Do you feel with sex tapes in this trial that, because I think even they said, even the freak-offs, they're going to let the jury see and probably not let the audience members watch. Is it even necessary to pull Cassie as she's pregnant on the stand to show, like, here's some videos that we found on his hard drive? Does it do anything for the case to show actual freak-off tapes?
So, going to pros and cons. The pro is, if I villainize someone so badly, you might actually forget about the law and say, you know what? I don't care what the charges are. This guy needs to be in jail. And that could be a large part of the prosecution's play on this. Yes, part of it goes to how he controlled her. Yes, part of it goes to the sex trafficking portion of it. But at the same time, villainizing him to the point that it doesn't matter what anyone says about this case, someone who would do this needs to go away, is also, I think, part of the play. On the flip side of that, as a defense, I am to the point where I'm saying to myself, look, there are many of us who have just simple sexual lifestyles. We got a spouse, we got a significant other, we're intimate, it's just the two of us, there's no videos. And the shock of letting people know that there are multiple people in the room, there's basically orgies, it goes toward someone's sexual behavior. It doesn't make them a bad person. They just have sex in a different way than you. And that the government is trying to villainize both him and Ms. Ventura for how they believe or how they enjoyed their sex life. That's why there are swinger clubs. I mean, they're perfectly legal. They're not shutting them down.
Right.
They're not raiding them. And so they're out there. And so as a defense attorney, I'm showcasing the fact that these individuals just lived an alternative lifestyle.
Shout out RealLyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.